Part. Thanks, Part, for that informative session you just finished. Yeah, so let me know when you can see my slide.
Yes, we can see your slide, your screen. Yeah,
Excellent.
thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, so tonight we just want to talk about introduction to project management reading. And that's what we will be talking about. And I will try as much as possible to keep it to time. I talk a lot. But tonight I won't keep us waiting, knowing fully well that it is late and someone said he's on his way to night shift and the like. So I'm sure a lot of people are in that boat as well. So we will shoot as we're supposed to. Okay. All right, so this particular session is going to tell us what exactly is project management and what are the roles involved. So we want to talk about exactly what is project management, and this is going to be an eye-opening experience for us and an opening session for most of us. That's if you've never gone into project management training or you've never listened to project management training or done any short course about project management before. It's just a 20-minute taster for us. And my name is Ayo Kongi, and this is who I am. I've got over 16 years of experience within the project management space with a few certifications within the project management space. I've started my career with NNPC, PPMC, the subsidiary of NNPC, PPMC, back in Nigeria, where I served as health and safety and environment and stroke project support. From there, moved to Galigay, still with Hybrid at the moment as executive director for business. Moved to UK in 2013. 11 years now, and since then I've worked with British Petroleum, I've worked with Vocalink, now MasterCard, I've worked with National Grid, I've worked with GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, I've worked with BAT, British American Tobacco, I've worked with Princess Group, which is a food side of Mitsubishi. I'm sure some of us might not know that is a food side of Mitsubishi. I've worked with National Grid, worked with them twice as well. I've worked with Finastra, I've worked with BMI, I've worked with an OBAC company, which are into pigmentation in Germany. And at the moment, I work, I run a project for SBM Offshore through Capgemini, a consulting firm in the UK. For some of us in the UK, you must have heard about Capgemini before. So I work for Capgemini, but seconded to go deliver a project for SBM offshore on some of their vessels in some countries. So that is who I am. That is me in a nutshell. That is 16 years of working within the project space, packed in one slide. And also, I'm a project management professional from PMI. I'm a program management professional as well from PMI. I've got IT Project Plus for CompTIA. I've got PM Agile Certified Professional. I'm a risk management professional from PM as well, schedule professional, as well as a professional when it comes to business analysis. And I've got Prince 2, practitioner as well, and as well as Scrum Master certification. So that's me, and you can always link me up on LinkedIn. So let's get into the business of the day. That's enough about myself. Let's get into the business of the day. Who is a project manager? When we talk about project manager, who is a project manager? A project manager is someone who is responsible for planning things, executing and closing project, or closing work, basically. And with that particular statement, you will all agree with me that we are all project managers. I'm not trying to gas you up now, but it is what it is. We are all project managers, because you are attending this particular session tonight, you planned it, you're executing it by coming into it, and at the end of the day, you're closing it out. I could hear one person saying, you know what, it's in August, when do I need to pay, if I pay now, and all of that. What that person is trying to do is trying to plan the work to be done, trying to plan the life, trying to plan how to attend the particular training. And some of us, we've planned, we're executing it now. You told yourself, you know, I need to get home early, or I need to log on. It's starting at 9 o'clock. So I need to get home. I need to get in there. I need to get that, all of those things sorted so I don't get distracted and all that. What you're doing is you're planning, you're executing, and at the end of the day, you're closing out a project by saying, yes, I'm fulfilled. I've done this, I've done it tonight. What is now the next stage I need to go to? And all that. So you could see that we are all project managers, but at what scale are we now managing that project or managing the work? That is exactly what it is now. And project managers are always accountable for the success and the failure of a project and must ensure that it is completed within the constraints. So we'll talk about the constraint a bit tonight as well. When we talk about constraint, you're talking about the time, the cost, you're talking about the scope. Sometimes we talk about the resources because you're constrained with the resources you need to have in order for you to use. And also, when we talk about a project manager, we're talking about, also overseas projects. Your job as a project manager is to coordinate a team, manage communication, manage the stakeholders' relationship, mitigate the risk within the project life cycle. Let me quickly say this so that you don't get bored. I know when Lady Pat was talking about, okay, that's cyber this, cyber that, and she said something very, very profound. Said some people who joined this course in the past don't even know how to operate computers, and at the end of the day, they were quite successful at it, all because we know how to do it. We know how to take you from where you are and walk with you and get you to where you need to be. And same thing goes with this project management stuff. So I need to say this to say, as a project manager, traditionally you're not supposed to be technically inclined. I was having a chat with someone tonight. That person has got interview with one of the organizations, and the person is chatting me to say, what, I've got a project manager's interview tomorrow, and it's a financial services. What exactly do I need to understand, or do I need to know the laws governing finance industry, or do I need to understand these? Do I need to understand that? And I said, what? If you have the time to understand all of that, go ahead and understand it. But as a project manager, your focus should be one, how does the health DLC cycle feels? I'm talking, I'm not going a bit into technical now. How does, what collect your requirement? How do you design? How do you build? How do you implement? How do you do your hypercare and all that? Just have a basic understanding of that. But what you need to have a proper understanding about is, how do you manage the team? How do you communicate with the team? Those are the key things they will be asking you. Those are the key things they will definitely be asking you whenever you're doing your interview. These are the things that are expected of you. It is of late that some organizations are expecting project managers to be technical, or because they want to kill two birds with one stone. Say, oh, we need a project manager who understands this language, who understands that, who does that. But in real sense of it, you're not supposed to be technically inclined. You're just supposed to come in, coordinate a team. But if you have basic knowledge of how a project should be done within a waterfall, it's an addition to yourself. It's a table addition. And if you've done any certification in the past, a project management certification in the past, you will understand that, nothing of those technical jargons were taught in your class or in your exams and all that. So you need not to be technically inclined. I just want you to follow us through the journey. If you follow us through the journey, we'll be throwing in some buzzwords and all that. Those are the kind of things we expect you to understand. And also, as a project manager, effective project managers possess strong leadership. Strong leadership. Don't forget that you're leading a team. You're leading a team of various people. And the beautiful thing about this particular training as well is, we don't focus on you being a project manager alone. And when I get to one of this, I think second to the last slide or third to the last slide, I will show you that there are close to like 7 to 8 or 9 project management roles you can get. Don't restrict yourself to just being a project manager. You will see various ones I will share with you, and that training will definitely take you all through that journey. And even if you want to be a project manager, you want to be a project planner, you want to be a project support, you want to be a project coordinator, you want to be a PMO analyst and all that, that's one training will take you through all of that journey. Because what we do here is, we're not teaching you on how to pass an exams. No, we're teaching you, what your first step, your first day at work, what exactly do you need to know? What exactly do you need to do when you step into the organization? How do you go about your work? How do you go about your work on a 9 to 5 basis? When you come the second day, how do you go about your work? That is what we teach in this particular training at Blue Sky, in all of our trainings at Blue Sky. Okay, so that is, next to that is, who should be a project manager? I've said this already. We are all project manager. We are all project manager. However, the coming slide can help you streamline your choice. This will not help you to streamline your choice to say, you know what, yes, I'm interested. No, it's not for me. BA is for me. Cybersecurity is for me. Oh, that is for me. Scrum Master is for me, and all of that. We can talk about that, but just have that at the back of your mind that we are all project managers, because in life, in whatever you're doing, you've planned it, you've executed it, and you've controlled it. You've closed it out as well. Also, what makes a good project manager? A good project manager, what makes a good project? A good project is clear goals, finishes on time, it's well managed, it engages stakeholders, meets a need, meets objectives, well planned, delivers values and benefits, relevant, on budget. Remember, I did not say, must be technically fit and all of that. I didn't say all of that because as for a project, you want to deliver your project, you want to make sure it is well managed. So you need that leadership skill, you need that stakeholders management skill, you need that communication skills in order for you to work with each and everybody within the team. You need to work with your DevOps guys, you need to work with the testers, you need to work with the data guys, you need to work with the cutover guys, you need to work with the full dress rehearsal guys, you need to work with the trial cutover guys, and all that within the project. All you're doing is you're getting all the information together, you're making sure that you're directing them in a way that things should go, and you're meeting the needs of the client, you're engaging the stakeholders, you're delivering values and benefit as written in the business case, or that you prepared or you were given if you met a project in between. So that is what makes a good project. Okay, in all of these things, then what exactly is a project, Ayo? You've said we are all project manager and all that. What exactly is a project? A project is a temporary organization that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more business product according to an agreed business case. Remember, I said business case earlier on. So we've got this business case, and within this business case, we said, you know what, this is what needs to be done. So you have to make sure that everything you're doing within the organization and the purpose of you delivering that and purpose of you delivering the business product is in line or is according to the business case. So if they're telling you now that, you know what, we want to deploy Salesforce, or we want to deploy SAP, or we want to deploy MS Dynamics, or we want to build an app, and that thing is saying that app must be able to collect requirement, that app must be able to capture pictures, that app must be able to upload maximum of 16 meg pictures and all of that. That is what the business case is saying. So whenever you're delivering that, you're not delivering an app that can't take picture, you're not delivering an app that the maximum is 10 meg, maximum upload is 10 meg, because that is not what is agreed in the business case. So you've got your business case as a guide for you to be able to do whatever you do, and projects are always temporary. What are the characteristics of projects you can think about? Projects are unique. The first thing I always talk about projects are unique. Just like this training you're coming for, it's a project to you. It's unique. You want to learn new skills. You want to change your career. You want something unique. That is what you're here. There is a change. There is bringing about change as well. Project will always bring about change. It's bringing about change. Maybe what you're doing at the moment is, you know what, someone sent me an email this afternoon, said, I'm an HR person. I want to see what I can do within the PM. Please, can I have a chat with you and all of that? I said, that's fine. Let's book an appointment tomorrow. Let's have that chat. Let's see how we can channel. So you can see there is a change from this person from HR to project management. And also is temporary. Projects are always temporary. They are not operations. Operations is what run forever. Is what run on your day-to-day work and all that. But when it comes to project, we've got a start time and we've got a finish time when we're talking about project that we need to deliver, then project has got a lot of uncertainty. It's got a lot of uncertainty. A typical example is, you know what? We're dropping a lot of information on your head at the moment, dropping cybersecurity information, dropping Scrum Master information, dropping manual and automation testing, dropping project management information. It's a project, a lot of uncertainty. You now need to go back and start thinking, okay, on this particular project of mine, what exactly do I need to take? How do I need to go and all that? So that is how all projects, the moment you start up a project, the uncertainty on the project is very, very huge. You now need to sit down with your team and start saying, you know what, we've got our assumption, we've got our constraint, we've got our uncertainty and all of that. You now start eliminating all of that. And when we talk about uncertainty, what we're talking about is actually risk. There are a lot of risk involved. A lot of risk involved. We now need to start saying, how do we tackle this risk? How do we mitigate this risk? Do we transfer this risk by getting insurance? Do we accept this risk by saying, you know what, it's a minimal risk? Let's just go head on it. Is it? Do we avoid and all that? And also, sometimes projects can be cross-functional. Project can be cross-functional in the sense that when you have a project, you can have a sales team coming on your project, marketing team coming on your project, tax team coming on your project, HR team coming on your project. Imagine if I want to deploy Salesforce, or I want to deploy SAP. In deploying SAP, I've got success factors. I've got things I need to develop. I need to deploy for order to cash, plan to perform. I need for report to record and all that. Bringing all of that together is cross-functional, going from asset management to supply chain management to record to report finance and all that. It is cross-functional. So you will always have projects that are cross-functional within your project. Okay, so that is all of the characteristics of project that we have. What's going to be the benefit of this particular training to you, really? To gain a globally recognized understanding of what project management is all about. You know how to start, manage the steps, and close a project. Okay, you learn common project management terminologies, there are loads of them. You will learn all of that in this particular training. Know how to structure a project. How do I structure a project from start to finish? If you're a PMO, if what you want to go for is a project support or PMO analyst and all that, how do I go about it? How do I go about it in me supporting a project manager or making sure that I set up a project management office for this organization and the organization can run smoothly? Okay, improve your career prospect. And if I ask every one of us here, what's the reason? What exactly is the reason why we're here? This is the major reason why we're here. Improve my career prospects, get more money and all that, then improve your standing within the organization. For some of us that are within the organization already, maybe because I've got few people that I could remember, two people that joined one of the trainings I did in the past. They were working with Home Office, and they were just clerical staff within Home Office, but they've been seeing different opportunities within project support space, and they just want to make sure that within the organization they still want to stay within civil service, but they just want to move into different things within the civil service. They came for the training, told them, come on, go on and apply for those roles and all that, and which they did, and clearly understand your role as a project manager or a project management professional, basically. All right. So when we talk about project, and for some of us that have read things, you've read documents, you've listened to things, you've gone on Google project management courses, you've gone on Coursera, you've gone on Udemy and all that, you've gone on various stuff, and you've heard some terms, project, program, portfolio, and all of that. And portfolio is just a broader umbrella for both project and programs, while programs is an umbrella for project. I will talk more about this. A program is defined as a group of related projects. So when you have related projects, that you're doing, 1 minute, please. I've got my chairman, my 3-year-old son, waking up this night. Okay. So I've got, you've got a different project. you've got project, like we explained, project is a temporary endeavor you undertake. Then you have one or two projects that you're putting together, and at that point in time, you have a program manager. So if you go in as a project manager in an organization, and that is not the only project that is being delivered within that particular organization, definitely you have a program manager that will be looking at whatever you're doing within that space. So you've got a program manager who's got various project managers underneath, looking at whatever is being done. So that is a program. It's that guy that is up there looking after related projects. And when we now come into portfolio might not be related project. A typical example is, let's assume we want to construct an airport. We want to construct a new airport. We want to call that airport Blue Sky Airport. Within that airport, we've got IT, we've got the commercial aspect of it, we've got the runway, which is civil construction, we've got the airport itself, which can be civil construction, we've got the commercial side where we've got people selling things and all that. You could see that even though it doesn't really look related, construction project is not related to IT and all that. So they don't really have a lot of dependencies within themselves. So with this, we can say that's a portfolio. That's a portfolio looking at unrelated project, or sometimes it could be related, or we call it a portfolio because at that point in time, we've got programs and we have project underneath there. So a combination of project and programs is what we call portfolio within that space. And we've got portfolio management, we've got program management, and we've got project management. So when you get into project management, you will be hearing those terms. You will be hearing portfolio manager, you'll be hearing program manager, or you get program director or portfolio director. Don't get confused when you're hearing all of that, because yeah, good. You can take that to your bedroom. Bye. All right. So you have project management, program management, and whenever you have portfolio director at the top, portfolio director, that's the top guys that look after various types of projects within that space. So don't get confused when you hear project, program, portfolio. It is still within the project management space, only that they are just few steps higher than what a project manager is looking after. All right. So while you're doing this, like I said, this particular training is not for certification, but I won't be doing justice to this particular teaser if I'm not talking about the certification that are expected of you to have if you are within this space. So the reason for this is the belief that if you want to come to this space, you must have an understanding of globally recognized terminologies, globally recognized space when it comes to project management. So that is what I always recommend to people. And when you come to my class, I'll tell you, is one of the things I would expect people to have before the end of a class is having your Prince 2 foundation at the minimal level. Prince 2 foundation at the minimal level, because when you have that on your CV, when your AI tool is saving people's CV, that's one of the things they want to see if you're in the UK. If you're in Canada, I want to see CAPM. If you're in America, I want to see CAPM. If you're in Australia, yes, I want to see CAPM on your CV and all that. Or if you're in the UK, I want to see Prince 2's foundation on your CV. And it's one of the simplest exams you can pass, because it's just a knowledge of terminologies, basically just knowledge of terminologies. And when CVs are pulled through AI softwares, these are one of the things that is being pulled through. You know what? I want to see CVs with Prince 2 certification on it. So you've got what we call the CAPM/PMP. This is PMI, Project Management Institute from US. This is US and it's globally recognized. And you want to agree with me that anything US is doing, UK want to do something similar as well. That's why you have Prince 2 organized or developed by the Office of the Government of Commerce, OGC UK. They started Prince 2 to say, you know what, we don't want to use PMBOK. We just want to have something to tailor to our own use in the UK. And that was what birthed Prince 2. Prince 2 is called Project in a Controlled Environment. That's the coinage for Prince 2. It's called Projects in a Controlled Environment. And also we've got the BACS Project Management Foundation. This is the Computer Science Association and all that. And we have another one that is called the APMP, Association of Project Managers exam as well. It's called the APMP. Few organizations in the UK, they use APMP, but for most organizations in the UK, they use Prince 2. So if you're in the UK, I would definitely appreciate that before the end of the training, you do Prince 2. Like I said, the training is not a certification training. We're not going to be talking about Prince 2 exams and all that in the training. It's hands-on training we will be talking about. What are the topics we will be covering? The topics we'll be covering in the project is: what is a project, constraint of project, successful and failed project. We will examine some of those things. We'll talk about project management, the core itself. Then we'll now talk about project management life cycle. We'll use both Prince 2 terminologies and also PMI terminologies. Let me say PMI methodology and Prince 2 framework. We will use those two to explain some of those things because when you get on the job, if you're in the UK, what you hear a lot are those Prince 2 terminologies. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about stakeholders management, which is key as a project management person. We'll talk about process mapping because as a project manager or as a PMO person or as a planner, you will be expected to run through processes, to start and finish processes. So we want to talk about how do you map processes? How do you convince people that this is a process we need to go through? You've developed a risk management process, or you want to develop a risk management strategy. Definitely, you need to create a process for people to understand how do we move from here to there, and we'll be using Visio, Microsoft Visio to do that. Also, one of the things we'll be talking about is cardiac. I will be talking about cardiac. Cardiac in this sense is not cardiac arrest, people. It's just an acronym for or a coinage for constraints, assumptions, risk, dependencies, decisions, issues, and actions, which is a core baby of a project manager or a PMO or a project support person. Okay, we'll be talking about that. How do you develop the processes? How do you develop the strategies? How do you develop all of the tools that is needed, the logs? How do you manage these on a day-to-day basis as a project manager or as a PMO person or as a planner? We'll talk about change process. Don't forget that when we spoke about the characteristics of project, one of the things we spoke about was change, okay? And there is no way you can go from start to finish of a project without experiencing change or changes within the project. How you manage that change, is now how your project will be successful. So we'll talk about change control process. How do you manage change? How do you control change or changes within a project to make sure that you're not goal creeping or you're not gold plating within the project as a project manager? Project reporting, this is needed on your project. You can have your governance to say, what project needs to be done weekly, or project report needs to be done once a week, or you can have some people within the organization that you report to once a week. There are others that, what they want to see once a month, steering committee or your project board, they want to see. So we'll talk about how do you prepare those kind of reports? What exactly do you need to put in those kind of reporting? Then project resource management. As a project manager or as a PMO person or project management person, you're expected to manage resources within the organization. Lessons learned management, that is so key. What have we learned? We need to start documenting the issues we are having on this project, successes we are having on this project, so that whoever is coming next on the project can pick up this document and can actually read this document and understand how to avoid those pitfalls or landmines on their own project as well. We talked about planning. We'll talk about planning and scheduling as well. And when we're talking about these, we'll talk about how do you plan a project from start to finish as a planner? How do you work with a project manager, or as a project manager, how do you plan this project from start to finish? How do you use MS Project? And in here, we'll be using MS Project as a tool within the space. If time permits us, we might get into Smartsheet. We might get into ClickUp as well. Some other tools, if we're able to get the time, but MS Project is so key. And that is one of the things we always teach in this particular training. Document controlling, we'll talk about how do you control document, versioning of your document, when we use SharePoint to do this, and some other people are now more into Google Docs. They're more into Google Workspace, so they use Google Workspace. We might be able to do that as well. What are the tools we will be learning in this particular training? Word, PowerPoint, Excel, MS Project, Visio, Outlook, Microsoft Teams. If we're able to do that, we'll definitely be doing Jira and Confluence as well. What exactly the salary range for this particular role? For project manager or PMO, this is always a salary range for them, 47,000 and above, and you can see different cities with different salaries within that space as well. And also for PMO, it's quite similar. It's quite similar as well for that salary range. Thank you very much. And that's the end of my presentation. I know I was running because I promised that I want to keep to time and all that. Any question from anybody?
Thank you so much, Ayo, for that comprehensive intro. Thank you for doing your best to put so much in such little time. And I'm sure there might be questions. Anyone has any questions for Ayo? Feel free to raise your hand and then we'll call you. Okay, Adalisa, please go ahead.
Well, thank you, Ayo, for this presentation. But sorry, maybe I missed it. You mentioned you were going to give us the project rules or the roles of a project manager.
Different roles, right?
Yes, the different roles. I'm not sure if I got it.
No. I think it's invisible in this particular slide now. Let me see. Apologies. Yeah, well, I'll answer that question later. So next question. Any other question?
All right. Any other question? Let me look at the chat in case there's any that has been put on the chat. No chat. So does that mean Ayo has done a fantastic job breaking down the project management and we're all good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well done, Ayo.
It's encouraging.
So hopefully, we all got a lot from that. And for those that have registered for project management, I hope you're excited for what you're looking forward to. Thank you so much, Ayo, for your time tonight and for giving us that taster. Even those of us that are not project management, I was able to pick one or two things. So thank you for that.
That's all right. Okay,
Yeah.
apologies for that. Yeah, so this is to answer the question that was, I thought I had it slide into the one I presented for Pustika, but it's not there. All right, so for, these are the roles and job opportunities you can apply for. After this training, you'll be able to apply for project analyst, project support analyst, project management office, PMO support, PMO administrator. Let me quickly say these to all. So if you see from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of these roles are just nomenclature. Different organizations using different words on what they want to look out for. Everything is the same. The role are the same. Okay. For different organizations, you will see a BP can tell you BP uses PMO analyst and PMO coordinator. They don't use PMO support or project support. When you go to Vocalic MasterCard, what you hear is project support analyst. The role of a project support analyst and a PMO support, a PMO analyst is actually the same. So it's different nomenclature you'll be hearing, but they are all the same stuff. You just have to quickly read the job spec. And while you're reading the job spec, you just look through your CV and just review your CV to match those job spec very well. Then PMO planner, or you call it project planner or program planner, that's the assistant project manager or project manager. Sometimes the assistant project manager, you see it as junior project manager when you search on JobServe or some other job portals, you see it as junior project manager. So these are the roles you can apply for after this particular training. Okay.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Ada?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. There is a question on the chat.
Okay, go ahead.
So, what is the role of a PMO in a project management?
Yeah, like I was, the role of a PMO in the project management is majorly, developing the governance, developing the support, the governance, the processes. So even within PMO, there are levels. There are levels. We've got what we call the PMO manager. We have what we call the PMO lead, and also we have what we call the PMO analyst as well. So for a PMO manager or a PMO lead, you're expected to come into an organization, and you can also serve as a project manager on some other project because you're managing a unit of the organization. So you're expected to come in and develop all of the processes that the project will be using. So all of the processes, the how meetings will be done, how risk will be managed, how issues will be managed, how business case will be monitored, how gate reviews will be done, and all that. You are expected to come in and develop that process for the entire project. The process that the project manager will use. So you can see that you happen to be the custodian of the processes. So if they need a template, if they need meetings and all that, you are the ones they will come to develop all of that for them. So as a PMO analyst, yours is to pick up all of those processes and use that to support the project manager to make sure that the project manager is delivering most of the projects successfully. So in some organizations where they have technical project managers will tell you, I don't know what risk is all about. I don't know what reporting is all about. I don't know what governance is all about. So as a PMO analyst, your role is to make sure that everything that has to do with project management is done on behalf of the project manager. So some organizations are set up in that way. But sometimes as a PMO person, your role is to make sure that you're managing that office well, supporting the project manager, making sure that the risks are red log are well documented, gates review are well done, making sure that the reports are well done, making sure that documents are well controlled within the organization, making sure that actions are captured, resources are managed, benefits are managed very well. You're developing the processes and you're able to use all of those tools we spoke about as well very well to make sure that the project manager is successful in delivering the project.
Okay, thank you for Ayo. Emmanuel, I think it was you that asked the question. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that does it. Thank you so much.
Okay, fantastic. All right. If there are no further questions, as I can't see any more hands up, I think we are good to go for tonight.